Okay, we're going to move on. We've spent a plethora of time talking about wide receivers, but it's good conversation. That was actually the first time on a podcast we just looked at a position and just went head on and dove right into the position pool, which was wide receiver. But we're going to take a different kind of spin with the next segment on the podcast, and we're going to look at one player in particular, and that is Derrick Henry. If you guys have listened to Primetime Podcasts or The Onside Kick or anything here on Most Valuable Podcast, you know that, we love talking about Ezekiel Elliott, and he's the best running back off the board. But Derrick Henry is still a guy that teams can go ahead and grab maybe round 2, round 3. Anthony, I'm going to kick it off to you first. What do you think? What's your first thoughts when it comes to Derrick Henry come draft weekend?
I don't think he's a day one pick. I think that, and it's unfortunate how devalued the running back positions become. And unless you have a Todd Gurley or Ezekiel Elliott-esque talent, it's going to be hard for them to draft in the first round. That's why I was so against Melvin Gordon to the Chargers last year. I didn't think he was that good. But to get back to Derrick Henry, you're talking about a good player. He did well in Alabama. I think if I'm a team with a need in round 2 for a running back, I have a hard time passing on him. I think he's definitely up there as one of the he's the second best running back, no doubt about it. And nowadays, I think teams are more willing to be a 2-back system. I think Derrick Henry could be a running back who is just alone. He could be like the Adrian Peterson, the Todd Gurley. I don't mean as good as them, but I mean the fact that he can do it by himself. He doesn't need somebody else to help him. It's not like Jerick McKinnon and Matt Asiata were when AP was gone, where they had to split the carries. He can take the carries himself, and I think he can be a solid running back. If I'm the Dolphins and he's available in round 2, I am running up there and writing Derrick Henry. I think he'd be perfect for them. I don't know if he makes it that far, though.
See, I don't know what to think about Derrick Henry when it comes to where he's going to go, because earlier in this draft season, it was early February or mid-February, you could say. I only did 2 of them this year because of time constraint reasons, but I took a look at Derrick Henry's film, and I'm going to leave that link down below in the description in case you guys want to check that out. But to me, when it comes to Derrick Henry, yes, he's got the size, he's got the stamina, comes up in big time opportunities. You can call him clutch, and he's definitely a power runner. However, the things that I just was like a little about was it seemed like in his runs, his foot quickness wasn't what you see with some other running backs, and he's not a back that's going to accelerate like that and just boom right through the line. It takes him a little while to get up to that top speed, and that kind of plays into his power kind of style of running. But the thing I think of is how is he going to move that into the NFL? Because we've seen Alabama power runners who do well. Look at Mark Ingram. However, or you could throw Eddie Lacy out there too. However, we've seen Alabama runners who have not done that well. Look at Trent Richardson. And in my mock draft, I really wanted to have the Dolphins take Derrick Henry, but I couldn't. I was sitting there going, do I have them take Derrick Henry? Do I have them go with someone else? The running back I had them going with was at pick number 73. So this was even in the 3rd round. I had him going with Kenneth Dixon. And the reason why I had him going with Kenneth Dixon is because 3 picks before them, the Baltimore Ravens took Derrick Henry. And that may be a surprise. They have Forsett. They have Taliaferro, who did well last season. They just signed the Abford mentioned Trent Richardson, but Derrick Henry to me could be a good fit for that Baltimore style because, I mean, you look at what Ray Rice was to that team. Ray Rice was never the, boom, I'm going to get you out of the gate right away, fastest running back in the NFL. He often had to stop, change directions. He had the little tripod move because of his height, where he kind of put his hand on the ground to create that tripod with his legs and his arm. I think Derrick Henry, too, wouldn't have to start right away in Baltimore, which could be a good thing for him because I don't think Derrick Henry's going to come into this league and be what Todd Gurley was to, let's say, the Rams last season.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we're going to be talking about Rookie of the Year with Derrick Henry, but I think he can get the job done. I think he'll be better than what Melvin Gordon was to the Chargers last year. And I think there's some teams out there with a need at running back, like the Dolphins, if they don't draft Ezekiel Elliott in the first round, the Giants. And if I'm a team like that, I have a hard time passing up the Heisman Trophy winner. I really do. I think he can. Alabama, I think he can do it. I don't think he'll be considered one of the better running backs in the NFL once it's all said and done. But I think he'll be the running back who can do it himself. But I don't know. I don't think we'll be talking about one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Where do you think he goes? Are you going to stick with that kind of, I think it was a half pick you gave like a few moments ago, where are you saying, let's say, boom, third round, if he goes there, 73, he'll be going to the Dolphins?
Yep. I think the Dolphins would be crazy to pass him up. I think the Dolphins are the perfect pick for him.
Well, and I mean, the one thing, I'm throwing this in at the very end before we get to our sleepers to close off the podcast, but I couldn't go 2 seconds. I couldn't go one podcast without mentioning Ezekiel Elliott, but do the Dolphins wait and go Henry later, or does Zeke slide and the Dolphins take Zeke at 13? That's another thing that could happen.
I can't see it happening. I think if the Giants are there and Ezekiel Elliott is there, they have to pick him. Maybe the Bears would take him.
That's who I've got.
A big maybe.
That's exactly who I have. The Chicago Bears taking Ezekiel Elliott.
I feel they're happy with their running back position. That's why I think they like Jeremy Langford. I think the Giants have been the team I've been, almost every mock I've done, I've had the Giants take him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't see, I shouldn't say I can't because it's the running back position. But I think he goes in the top 10, and I think the Giants are as far as he'll drop. I think the Dolphins will have to trade up if they want Elliott, which I don't think is necessarily bad.
Well, and it's funny that you say that because I am going to read this verbatim before we get into our sleepers to close this off. When I made the pick of Zeke to the Bears in my 4.1 mock draft, I said, and I quote, "I think it'd be wise for Chicago to try and trade back with someone, Miami, who needs a running back." I don't think he gets past 11 because I think the Bears would be wise enough. Yeah, I have him going with the pick. That's because I wasn't doing trades in my mock draft. The Bears would be wise to say, hey, Zeke's there. Miami, what are you going to give us for him? What are you going to give us for him? Because they don't really need Hargraves, who will probably go to the Saints then, and they can get a guy like Leonard Floyd that I know some Bears fans hate that Leonard Floyd is being projected to the Bears, but they just need a pass rusher in the biggest way.